This session is brought to you with the help of Sundial Cannabis, the natural alternative for modern wellness. Hello and welcome to Sessions by the Herb Life. My name is Tiana, your friendly sessions facilitator, and we are back for season 2 with a new lineup of women, mostly with a sprinkling of man here and there, who have made cannabis their business. Sessions is a podcast that aims to bring forth the conversations that are happening on the ground of the cannabis industry to generate new ideas and highlight the dedication of some of the plant's greatest advocates. By bringing together a rotating roster of people with an emphasis on women and diversity, we hope to share with you the passions, the challenges, and the triumphs of those working in the cannabis space. Much like you, my job really is to sit back and enjoy the ride. So for anyone listening who is just starting off in the cannabis industry or perhaps hoping to get involved, is this a great episode for you? These women have made a career out of advising people on how to do cannabis business well. Today we have the trio behind EstroHaze, co-founders Callie Wilder, Sirita Wright and Safon Floyd, who are about to drop some serious nugs of wisdom. EstroHaze is at its core a multimedia platform aimed at educating and inspiring the businesses and lifestyles of women of colour and multicultural communities in the cannabis industry. The story of how EstroHaze began is honestly the most motivating and exciting stories I've come across. One that even makes me want to drop everything I'm doing and become a cannabis entrepreneur. So essentially they applied to a seed stage cannabis business accelerator, Canopy Boulder, and were accepted. And believe it or not, within a matter of weeks, these women took a huge leap of faith, quit their jobs, packed up their lives in Brooklyn, and moved to Boulder, Colorado, and they haven't looked back since. Now they run a company that supports multicultural women in media, connects cannabis professionals with businesses, and even just a quick search of their website, EstroHaze.com, you'll find a long list of articles and videos providing really valuable tips and methods for running businesses centered around cannabis. So I won't keep you any longer. Please welcome Sirita, Callie, and Safon.
Hey, what's up, good people? We're here excited today with the ladies of EstroHaze. Hey, EstroHaze ladies.
Hello.
All right, we have Kaylee over there. Hey, Kaylee.
Hey, what's up?
Safon over here, live from BK. We have me, Safon. And of course, we're here with Herb Life to do what we do best, and that's talk that cannabis talk. So let's jump right into talking, y'all. Today, we're going to have a conversation about something that we've been conversing amongst ourselves, and that is the bullshit or the bullshit of cannabis, y'all. Y'all, I don't know. We got to talk about. I mean, there's so much. I mean, the pivoting process in cannabis, is that necessary for your business? Should you hold it or should you fold it? What you should be doing in the cannabis business, growing, selling, other. We'll get to that. How you should even be functioning as a business. Like, what you looking at? Are you looking straight ahead? You looking to the side? You looking around? Competitors? What you're doing? How you moving? Like, let's dive into that, y'all. Let's talk about this.
Let's do it.
This bullshit of cannabis. What do you say?
Yo, I love it. Why don't we start with, if you can't grow it and you can't sell it, what can you do? Because let's be honest, we know that not everyone is financially capable or has interest in owning and operating a cultivation or a dispensary, but they do want to financially profit from this industry. So we started a media company and we focus on providing dynamic content across multiple channels. But guys, what are have been some of the interesting career paths that you've seen other people in our industry break into? Who wants to start?
Oh, I can jump in.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Kaylee.
So, I mean, I don't know if it's necessarily the sexiest area to get into in the cannabis industry, but it's probably one of the most necessary, which is compliance. This is, I've seen a number of compliance experts and consultants pop up over the last couple of years, basically due to changing regulations. I mean, things consistently change over the course of, I don't know, the last 2 years in particular, as far as in Colorado, there have been little small tweaks to the regulation that all businesses have to really stay abreast of in order for them to be compliant across the board. And as you know, because businesses are selling an illegal quote unquote drug, we don't think it's a drug, we know it's a plant, that there are just all kind of technicalities and gray areas there. So you really need someone who can know what to take a risk on and what not to take a risk on, because it could be the life or death of your business. So that's one interesting area I've seen pop up, where you don't necessarily need to touch the plant, but you have to be very knowledgeable about all of the laws and policy around it.
That's a nice one. What about you, Fawn? What have you seen that's pretty cool, interesting, or not so sexy?
You know, that's a good question, because a lot of what I've been getting has been much of the same. In terms of not even what I'm seeing, but what I'm noticing, you know, has kind of been a lot of much of the same about what people are trying to do and getting in. So I think that's been the more of the forefront for me in the market that I'm in, what people are trying to do so much more than what people are actually doing. Since we're still in a bit of an illegal market in that way, I'm a little more privy to the desire, these short-sighted desires of people looking to get into the industry is a lot more apparent to me from where I sit.
Can you give an example of like what you mean?
Yes, like I can give a direct example. Like even to me personally, I'm still getting a whole lot of how do I open a dispensary? How do I grow?
Mm-hmm.
What can I do in that regard to get in the cannabis industry? And it's like, as an entrepreneur in this space, it's coming off a little Debbie Downer when like my answer is like, no, don't not.
Right.
Right. And it's like, that's not necessarily what people are trying to hear or want to hear right now, because it doesn't sound as aspirational. And it's not even no, don't not because you can't. It's really no, don't not unless you're ready. But a lot of the inquiry about getting the business
seems to still be a little redundant.
And it seems to be so very much at the forefront for me. Where I sit. But again, I'm in an illegal market still. And people are still very short-sighted about the opportunity. So to hear from Kaylee, to see like what's going on in these legal markets and opportunities out there, it's inspiring because it's looking bleak from where I sit.
Shoot, it's looking bleak. I think one of the most interesting things I've seen is people really work to just try to create their own lane, which is something we have definitely worked very hard over the last few years to do for ourselves. And one area in particular is people who are in more remote places, but they are still very much cannabis consumers or enthusiasts. And so they're trying to fuse tourism with cannabis. And so they're just trying to create their own sort of ecosystem. And that's been pretty cool to see, honestly. But I do feel, Safon, in that there are still a lot of people who seem to look at the things we've been talking about for years. I want to do a dispensary. I want to do a grow. And, most of these folks haven't ever worked retail. So it's even like, all right, girl. Like,
you know what this brings me to, though, guys? And you tell me what you think about this. And it's a whole large conversation about entrepreneurship. And it almost feel like the audacity of me to bring this up, like I know. But I realize that in entrepreneurship in cannabis, people are lacking creativity. I think something that we've done well with EstroHaze is we have let our creativity stretch in terms of what we want to do as a business, right? We haven't really put many parameters, even in a federally illegal, industry. We haven't really put many parameters around ourselves as entrepreneurs or people looking to make a stake in this space. And I think that has benefited us. And that's allowed, and we've even made several pivots, turned.
Oh, yeah,
for sure.
10,000 directions, but we've always remained creative in what and how we want to do it. And I see that's lacking. When you come in and say, hey, how do you open a dispensary or how do you grow? And the answer might not be as easy for that. Then what, right? We have been really good with the then what. I think I would like to pat us on the back. Okay, so this isn't working for us. Now what? Okay, so maybe this is working, but with a little bit. Now what? We're very good at being creative with how we are most valuable in this space. And
that's definitely hard for a lot of people to do. It's kind of hard for people to recognize that, oh, I might need to make a change. Like, this is not working. And, I think being able to pivot and, touching on that and doing what we've been able to do is because we really just had the courage and the mindset, but we also come from a creative background. Which, that has given us a bit of allowance. And then also, like we'd say, we own our company. So we're very happy to stick and move like this. We tried this, we looked at this, but this is not it, or we need to evolve this. I mean, what do you think contributes to knowing when to pivot?
I think what we have, and I think we talk about this in our In Sessions episode. We have a universal gut in our business. You know what I mean? That all of us are connected to, very connected to, like the gut of the business, the core, the why, the what, the who. We all get it. So when it's not making sense for that, when that gut is feeling uncomfortable, we all are really good at recognizing that and seeing what to do about it. We might not even agree wholeheartedly all the time on exactly what to do about it, but we know something needs to be done. I think in entrepreneurship, especially in such a new industry, you got to give yourself liberty to do that. It's almost fun to play in this place, right? Because it's like, oh, okay, there are no rules here. No one's done it before us, so we can't say we have to do it like this. You know what I mean? So it's really the wild, wild west in that regard. Like, okay, this isn't working. We've tried this for long enough to feel like it won't work. So now what? I think there has to be some type of compass in the business, and I think EstroHaze has that. Thank God, and hopefully it keeps that. But EstroHaze has a very sound compass in the gut of it, and when it's off, it take one of us to say, "Yeah, this kind of don't feel right." Yeah, man, this don't feel right.
And just to kind of piggyback on what you're saying, I think it's not just enough to recognize it, because a lot of people recognize when things are going wrong, but they have a plan and they stick to it. The most important thing is to take action when you realize something is wrong and have I don't want to say courage, but it kind of is like to just be like, yo, this isn't working. We have to try something different, because I think people just cling to plans a lot, and plans are great. They're necessary, but you have to know when to test and when to let go. And I think that taking that step of action is super important in changing things up overall. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I think, I do think, too, to even add on to what you're saying, too, another thing that helps the pivot is being concise from the beginning, right? We pivoted about 3 times, y'all, and ended up exactly what we said we were.
Exactly.
Like, how do you change the structure, the course of the business 3 times?
That's so wild.
Exactly what you said you were going to be to begin with. So being concise about what you want to add to this industry, I think, helps to keep you on course.
Absolutely.
2 good C's: being courageous and being concise.
Yeah, we came in knowing exactly what we wanted to give the girls. So then it was just a matter of figuring out the best method for us to do so. So when you said
we're the girls too.
Absolutely, absolutely.
We know what we feel about things. So
exactly. So when you come in and you say you want to grow or you want to open a dispensary, I think getting to your why or what that's trying to get you to will help you to get a little more creative with how you can still meet that goal without necessarily taking that course of action.
I think that's definitely fair.
Yeah. I think that has definitely worked for us. So I have a question for y'all though. Like, seeing as how, we're out here and there's stuff, there are different companies coming up all the